Zephaniah 3:13. It says, the remnant of Israel will not do any wrong, and they will not speak lies, nor shall a deceitful tongue be found in their mouth.
And the very next verse says, and my servant David, and it shall be king over them. So you know that this is a clear messianic prophecy, unlike other prophecies that other people purport to be messianic, where there's no mention of David or the root of David or branch of David or anything like that. This is very clearly a messianic prophecy.
And we are asking for this person to go forth. Does he know he's a
Where I stand, there's so much I want to do, and as long as I believe I'll have the strength to make it through by leaving it in His hands. I can see all my dreams coming in the stars
Walk down a street beneath the tide, live by this very road. Step into a shul, you almost can hear the words of the sages speaking the